this week's episode of Think Tank Thursday. I am Candy Kelly, and I'm excited to be your host this week. As we know, Traintertainment likes to take a little bit of time on Thursdays to get away from all the doing that there is. We're in spring, summer is coming up, change of quarters, like lots of things have been going on. We've got to take some time thinking. And we are so grateful that our 2022 Think Tank partners allow us to bring you these episodes each week to take that little bit of time. So I got to give a shout out to Redemption Plus, Simnots, Embed, Betson, and today's guests come from Party Center Software, and they're here to talk about one of my favorite industry resources that comes out once a year. And if you don't have your hands on it, I'm sure we can get you a link to it, but it's the 2021 online booking survey that talks all about parties. And so it really is something I use to make sure I was in line with everything with the industry average. But I'm not going to take away their thunder. So first, I'm going to let each one of them introduce themselves, and then I'm going to let them break down what the survey is telling us and all the important information we need to take away from it from last year. So Laura, if you want to start around the circle, and you guys can each introduce yourself and kind of your role.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Candy, so much for having us. I'm Laura. I'm the marketing manager at PCS. And yeah, we're going to be talking all about some of the highlights from the study today.
I'm Megan Hawkins. I'm sure I've met a lot of you through trade shows, et cetera. I'm on the consultancy side for customer side. When you need to go through demos, learn a little bit more about what online booking, the study that we're actually going to come through, what that can do for your business, I'm your girl.
Awesome. And I knew Eileen wouldn't go off mute first. So I love you, Eileen. My name's Rebecca Toomey. I'm the Director of Sales, Marketing, and Customer Success here at Party Center Software. So I'm a little bit of everywhere.
Why don't you just call you the director of everything?
That's a good idea. Maybe we should work on a title change, huh? And then Miss Eileen.
Yes, I'm Eileen. I've been in the industry since 2007, and I'm a customer success manager here at Party Center Software. So my job is to make sure that you're up to date on the business trends and that you're using the software successfully and answer any questions that you might have.
And I have to add for Eileen, she has been in the industry for quite a long time. She worked as a manager at a multi-location facility for years using PCS before she came on with PCS. So yeah, she knows her stuff. Let's just say that. Right, Candy?
Always fun to have that operator perspective on your team.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Cool. So I'm going to share my screen here and we can just jump straight into it. So yeah, we're going to talk about the 2021 online booking study, and kind of the first data point that we wanted to highlight is the party booking revenue. So first thing that jumps out at me is the industry is bouncing back, right? In 2020, obviously, there was a hit to the industry with the pandemic and with restrictions and capacity restrictions, all that stuff. But the industry is slowly coming back to what it was in 2019 beforehand, and even in some cases exceeding those numbers as well. So that's very exciting. We've seen a lot of customers, that they're revamping their party packages. In some cases, they're raising prices. They're also making a lot of add-ons available too. So the price per package is also able to increase, with whatever add-ons that they choose to add to their overall purchase. So this is a really great sign. We see that 2021 is just a hair away from the 2019 number. So that's really, really good to see. And kind of the main thing that we wanted to shout out is that almost 30% of our customers had a record-breaking year in 2021. So that was awesome to just go through that data and see that. Rebecca, I know, we were talking a lot about add-ons and packages and, just some of the changes that we've seen. What are some of the things that our customers are doing that's unique?
Sure. So I did want to speak to this a little bit. The nearly 30% that had record-breaking years in 2021 was compared to data from 2019 or before. So obviously not counting any data from 2020 in there because it was a very up and down type of year. But one of the things that we see that impacts and has helped people the most are those add-ons that you mentioned, Laura. During the checkout process, when someone is booking a party, offering add-ons with great pictures and descriptions is going to be an amazing way to add extra revenue to that party and to that facility. You could double the revenue that you would make on a party with just add-ons alone.
It's interesting that you are bringing that up. I just had a conversation with InBed about the kiosk, and one of the interesting stats that came up was that the kiosk was like 30% more, had 30% more in upsells than a cashier at any, like they did the study across the board. And so it's another reason for like online booking will always suggest the add-ons, where the person on the phone may suggest one or two because they don't want to feel too pushy, right? They won't go through all the options that someone has. Or online booking is never going to forget to say, oh, here are the add-ons that you could add.
Yes. And think about how we shop online, right? We look at pictures and visuals, and we see something in front of us, and it makes it easy for us to make that choice. If you're on the phone with somebody booking your party and they say, hey, do you want to add an extra pizza or a Coke? They're going to go, I don't know. But if they see that there's a package available to them, oh, I can get this. It's for 12 people. It's going to feed this many, or it has a really good description next to it. Someone is much more likely to say, go for it. Let's just add that. Oh, chicken tender platter. Didn't even know that was an option. Cool.
Yeah, and those pictures really make a difference. Like the better your pictures are, people are going to choose that item.
Pictures and descriptions. Like you don't want a picture of chicken tenders and then next to it, it just says chicken tenders.
Exactly. There was one, I forget, we were having a conversation about this one day because there was some sort of platter and it was expensive. It was like an $89 platter and there was no picture. And our team said to each other, as moms, if we were booking a party for our kids, would we ever pay $80 for something that we didn't know what it was going to look like? No way. So it's really important to have photos and descriptions, like you said, to help upsell folks during the checkout process. And that's one of the beauty of online booking, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't know, Laura, when you wanted me to mention one of the other growth points. Maybe this is a good time, because we did notice that in addition to, obviously the study was from 2021 and we're only a couple months into 2022. We don't have all of the data yet, but we are seeing things continue to rise and trend up and folks continuing to sell more and do better. Some of our top customers so I say top customers, they already were booking a lot of parties as it was. I'm just going to call out two. I'm not going to name them for privacy's sake, since I didn't ask them for if I could, but they increased parties by 50. Okay. So they had in January, one of them had 228 parties booked in January, which first of all, that's a lot of parties. I don't know about you, Candy, but 228 parties is a lot. In February, they did 274 parties. That's a crazy bump in parties.
It's an average of 12 a day.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Another customer had 215 parties in January, and they had 250 in February. So just to throw out, folks they're booking more. People are getting out, and they want to go have fun at these facilities. Now, that's a whole other conversation on how to handle 54 additional parties at your facility.
Well, we have a great resource on that. The party, I think it's called the event checklist resource. So I'll send the link to that, Candy.
And they could always call me.
You can call us too. Trainer Entertainment has a whole series of how to handle birthday parties, because that came from a place that did 50 parties a day and coordinated that. So that's what actually started some of her love in that training, is because she was doing so many parties and she was like, there's a system, and if you don't follow that system, it's chaos. And she did not like the chaos.
Yeah, you have to have organized chaos from the first party, till the end. So yeah, definitely. But also I wanted to mention one of my customers that's been in the business for 30 years said that 2021 was their best year ever, and 2022 is looking the same. So I mean, I think we're definitely on the uphill.
Absolutely. And from here, pivoting over to the online store, which is one of those things that can also help in terms of selling. You could take those add-ons that you have that are part of party packages and also sell them as one-off products on your online store. We've seen a lot of growth here too. So, in 2019, obviously, there's a steady growth up. Once the holiday season hits in Q4, folks are buying. In 2020, it dipped and then came back up. And the interesting thing there too that we mentioned in last year's resource was our online store had 148% increase in sales from like Q2, Q3 to Q4. So folks started to pivot. And although like here, that color is like the medium blue on this chart, it looks smaller compared to 2019 and 2020. But at the same time, it did have a huge impact on just making sure that these businesses were making some sort of revenue during that time. And then now in 2021, well, those numbers are either meeting, exceeding like in Q3, or just short of Q4 2019 numbers. So we've seen that online store kind of get back up there. And so, a lot of folks are adding different products, even doing like virtual parties. Eileen, what are some of the things that you're seeing that folks are putting into their online store to sell?
Yeah, definitely. People are getting real creative. They did some during 2020. They did some virtual birthday parties where they did Zoom meetings, and they sold a ton of them. It was crazy how people pivoted and got creative. And I think that's probably one of the best things that we can take from this whole pandemic is the ability to have pivoted, get your creative juices going, and raise those prices and think outside the box. And I love thinking outside the box. So ping me, we'll do it.
I have a question about just the sheer number of people who started actually utilizing the online store because of the pandemic. Like it kind of was always there for Party Center software, but I feel like some people used it, some people didn't. If they did, it was mainly for gift cards and nothing really else lived there. So what about that growth on your end of how many people actually incorporated it into just their regular business?
Yeah, we definitely had we saw some growth there. We wanted to encourage people to use it too. So we even said, hey, we'll let you use it for free. Try it out.
Absolutely. Yes.
See if it works for you. And we gave them suggestions of things that they could try to sell. One of my favorite was Birthday Party in a Box. That was right at the beginning of the whole situation with the pandemic, that no one was going to go anywhere, at that point in time, but you could come pick up a party in a box and it has everything that you need to have a birthday party at home. And that was really cool. And it did really well. Some folks did virtual tip jars.
Yeah, I was going to suggest
that did very well for them, and they were able to raise funds for their staff, things like that. But then as we moved to 2021 and folks started to open up, they started to get creative with events now that they were back open. One of the hottest hitting, highest purchase events from 2021 was Visit Santa. Right, Eileen?
Yes. Yeah, breakfast with Santa.
Tickets to meet Santa. So they would, put a number of tickets on for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever days they were having Santa. They sold out. One of our customers sold out so quickly, and they made a lot of money.
They did. But you know what they could do now, because Easter's April 17th, it's late. They could if they still have time to do it, they could do Hopping with the Easter Bunny. They could do cookies with the Easter Bunny. I mean, there's a ton of ideas that they could do with the Easter Bunny.
I think Laura has another what's it called? Another ebook for that one.
I would suggest people to take breakfast. You can do breakfast with the Easter Bunny or breakfast with Santa.
Yes.
Very few of our locations are open for breakfast anyway.
Right.
Most of us have the capability to make pancakes, and if not, griddles are really cheap at Walmart that you can do, and pancakes are really inexpensive as a whole to create and to sell. And so like you can pre-sell tickets and have a little activity station, breakfast with some pancakes, maybe some toppings that you get, and then like a chance to have a picture with the Easter Bunny or Santa. And you're not taking away from any of your time because you're not open for breakfast usually.
Right. And normally your staff is going to love to dress up like a little elf for Santa, or to be the Easter Bunny. I mean, if you've got those creative people, they're wanting to do this, and it's extra money for them too. So yeah, it doesn't cost that much.
Absolutely. There's a lot of creative ideas, and Eileen is definitely the go-to for that. We do have a great resource that Rebecca and I put together at the end of last year on online stores and just how to maximize your use of them. So if you head over to this link, and I'll follow up with Candy so she can send that out to you all or put it in the description. The next thing we wanted to talk about is, of course, parties booked by month of year. And I put in the data for the last 3 years in here. Now, the first thing to kind of keep in mind is the reason why 2020 looks a little wonky is because the total number of parties decreased, right, significantly in Q2, Q3. So they're essentially artificially inflated because of that decrease. And they were the only 2 months before COVID really hit, everything was shut down. So that's why they look a little weird. But if you focus on 2019 and now 2020, you'll see that 2019 started off strong. Again, that's the lightest blue color in here. I know there's a lot of blue. Sorry, guys. And then it kind of dipped in the middle of the year and then came back up near the end of the year. But with 2021, January, February, not as big of a jump as we're used to. But then in March, it goes back up and it actually stays pretty consistent. And the drop off during the summertime isn't as big as 2019's was. And then boom, it goes all the way up and surpasses 2019's numbers. So that's really, really great news for the industry. And, again, a lot of people are changing the pricing on their party packages. They're adding more value into their party packages. There's a lot more add-on options. And kind of the main thing that I wanted to talk and pull in Megan into this conversation too, is it's really important to not only be creative with those packages, but also come up with creative names, right? And, just make sure that you're promoting them properly, like through social media and through your website. And, Meg, what are you seeing kind of in the industry and with all the customers and demos that you've been doing? Have you seen people kind of focus on how the channels through which they're pushing some of these parties?
Wait a minute, Megan, you don't like gold, silver, bronze, platinum?
Good, better, best.
Good, better, best. Those aren't the names that you suggest.
Well, I think it's important to keep a brand at your facility. You need to completely exude, like when Laura says, sorry about all the blue, I love the blue because I know that that's the Party Center software color blue that we use. And I know when I see Candy and she's wearing a blue shirt, I know she's with Trainer Entertainment. You know what I mean? So branding, I think, is very important. And in that, naming, your strikes, your spares when you're in the bowling industry, because I think it makes a big deal to really share what the guest is going to get inside their events, right? And it's not just the parties where it's a flat fee anymore, and then it's a plus per person. So think about how you price out your parties. It can be all across the board where it's a per person cost up to a specific head count and then X dollars more, as you tier the pricing. But I don't think it's necessarily quantities of parties. I think it's quantities and revenue of what that party includes, because it's all about the value. What is the guest receiving for the dollar amount that they're booking? So when you look at this, wave of ebb and flow of when the parties are booked, it's very important to know that if you're going to make edits to your events, what you offer, price points, whatever it is, now is a phenomenal time to do it, because your busiest time starts when the kids go back to school. Here's everybody back in class now. It's not sunny outside. We can have their parties September, October, November in-house. So that's why you see Q4 and Q1 are the busiest times. That's not new, but it's crazy to see how far they've surpassed. So to answer your question, Candy, I think it's very important to, yes, theme. I absolutely think it's a great idea. But I also think it's important to, if you're adding online booking, if you don't have it, if this proof in the pudding doesn't convince you, if it does, now's the time to start window shopping, adding that, because if you can get it up and running and then handle your business before your busy time, the rest is gravy, right? That's my news.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of the Easter Bunny and all the creative event ideas that I basically pulled out of Eileen and put into this resource, we did a redesign. This was an older resource, and then we added some new ideas. So if you head over to this link, you can go ahead and get our monthly events calendar with all the different ideas that you could do throughout the year. So parties booked by weeks in advance. Kind of, looks more or less the same, but I will say the main thing that's happened in the last 2 years is the number of people that are booking like 4 to 8 weeks or more than 8 weeks in advance continues to decrease. Like, folks are being very cautious. Most people are booking literally a week in advance of the party.
I don't understand these people that book with less than a week in advance. That is not my personality.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, but at the same time, state to state restrictions do change. There's still a lot of flux, especially at the beginning of 2021, January and February, as we saw from the other data. Folks just weren't sure, like, can we book or not, or what's going on. So, kind of the main thing that we try to hone in on is make sure that you have a website that you're updating people on any sort of capacity restrictions or changes, or if you have like some sort of cleanliness protocol, or if there's been any changes, continue to update people, because they want to know, like, what is your protocol, how things are looking. And also, promote, again, back to what Megan was saying, back to what we were saying before, you want to make sure that you're promoting these packages so that people know, like, hey, we're open, we have parties going on, book with us, now is a great time. Eileen, what are some more tips on how owners can, remain flexible and make sure that they have, availability even a week in advance, right? Because if we're looking at the data, people are booking a week in advance. So what are some of the things that you're seeing, and what are some of the tips on, how FEC owners can continue to remain flexible with people?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I would recommend is, I know that we're everyone's saying that it's tough to have employees available at all time, and that's the reason they want to make the parties not be able to be booked until, for at least a week. But what I always like to do was, I had an A team, and I had one or two or three people that on this A team that automatically I could text, and they would show up to work in a just like that. So, so I'm thinking, if you could come up with that one or two person, then you could get these people that want to book at the last minute, but I understand if you can't. But I think if you can do that, then you need to advertise it. You need to let them know, book with us. And plus, you could take any parties slots that you don't have booked, you could advertise those too, and say, do you need a party at such and such time? So, I mean, there's lots of creative ways to get those last minute parties and still be flexible. But I do understand that the employee situation can be a little bit difficult, but I think if you can at least get one or two, that you can text and get on that A team, and and maybe pay them a little bit extra during that time, I think it would work out well, since how the statistics says that almost 40% of the people are booking with less than a week's notice.
I think our customers have been doing a pretty good job tracking their averages too, Eileen, right? So if they know that they're having 40 parties on a Saturday, 30 to 40 parties on a Saturday, and that a percentage of them are booking at the last minute, they are very prepared for those last minute bookings. And typically they allow up to 72 hours before the party to, you can also control when you allow people to book before that party, if you want it to be 2 days or 3 days or that type of thing.
What was it in 2019? Do you remember?
What's that?
What was it in 2019?
So less than 1 week has always been.
It's always been there. I know.
It's always been the highest number, but 4 to 8 weeks has always been our second, and it was much higher prior to now. So less than a week has always been the name of the game. I don't know what's up with these mamas, but they wait.
My suggestion has always been that, like, and I bring it from my restaurant background, restaurant owners didn't schedule for a Saturday like skeleton. Like, they scheduled to have like every table sat in a restaurant, and then if you did need them, you would let people go or file them into some other area that may need help. And so I always talk to people, I'm like, treat your party host similar. Like, what is your average? Don't think, oh, I don't have that many parties booked right now on my calendar, so I'm just not going to tell Megan and Eileen to come in. I'm going to tell them they can have the weekend off. I'm not going to schedule them. I'm like, no, schedule everyone in. If you are not busy in parties, like those slots don't get taken, where else can you use them? And if not, just be like, congratulations, you get the day off today.
Candy, I actually just opened the 2019 study here. It looks like, it's very similar. Yes, less than a week is more, but less than a week was 21%. And then the 48 weeks was 20%. So it didn't have that double closer in advance, because 1 to 2 is surpassed that. So very similar, but it's crazy because it was 21, 19, 17, 21. So, or 20. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
new stat. I
It was
love
like either
comparing.
last minute or super planner.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, your
exactly.
One or the
child's
other.
birthday is the same time every year. I mean, I just
It
don't.
is. It is.
It is.
Before we move on, I didn't have a chance, unfortunately, to add this into the deck, but what about the booking time? I think, Rebecca, you have the data for 2021.
Sure, I do have that open. I can screen share. I can just share with you that 2020's most popular time was 12 p.m. So noon for online booking. For online bookings, most popular time was remaining unchanged, 12 p.m. Well, maybe I'm reading this wrong. Let me steal this if you don't mind.
Sure, no problem.
I want to make sure I cite this properly. Can you see bookings by time of day?
Mhm.
All right. So this is from 2021. And so it looks like online booking spikes up around noon and then closer to the end of the day, so middle of the day. So for in-house booking, most popular time was 4 p.m., which was a change from 2020's 12 p.m. And then 11 a.m. It looks like it was 11, I guess, instead of 12.
So I
It's
guess what
lunchtime.
that's saying, yeah, I was going to say, I
Lunchtime,
guess
yeah.
lunchtime. That's what it's saying. So also, I'm thinking the changes because a lot of people really started working from home more.
Hmm.
And right around that lunchtime,
Yeah.
I always make this joke that it's Mondays. I don't know what day was it last year. Online booking most popular day. It actually was changed to Friday. It used to be Mondays, like around noon. And so I used to joke, mom would get to work on Monday and go, oh my God, I got to book that birthday party for this weekend. And so
For
she
this
would book
weekend.
it. But now it's looking like mom is waiting till Friday and saying, oh, I have a 1 week left.
Yeah.
Let's
get
book
that
it.
booked.
But Candy, so think about it. In 2018, I have that study open right now. It was between 5 p.m. and midnight,
Afterward.
right? So
After
that
work.
Yes.
after work, absolutely. That's
Yes.
great. I mean, getting used to it, right? Online booking was way more busy after they were watching The Bachelor.
It's
Sticking their ad
also,
on.
it just shows you the
For a while.
blending now of our home life and our work life due to 2020.
Absolutely.
There's a big blending of those two things. And it's not like I only dedicate these hours to work and this hour to personal
Right.
stuff. It's like, as long as I get my work done, like I can interweave those things now.
And the significance of day and time, and the reason why it's important for us to know these things is because we want to run ads. If we want to run Facebook ads or things like that,
Yes.
we want to run them on the days and times that folks need the push to book that birthday party. So if we know that Mondays between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. are when moms are on their computers, and we can push those advertisements out to them to remind them, hey, don't forget to book Johnny's party, his birthday that's happening in 5 days, then they're more likely to click through. So that's why we mentioned why this is important to know this information.
Absolutely.
And Laura can speak to this more.
Yeah, and I would also recommend too, if you are a new facility owner or you're just getting started, you don't really have like a software, you're not really tracking analytics closely. Every year we release this study. Every year you can go over the data and kind of come up with a rough, outline of what you should do marketing wise, as Rebecca mentioned. And another thing to do too is if you have that Facebook page, that Instagram page, you get analytics, you get really great data from there. What everything from gender to popular posting times, like you get all that great data. So kind of compare it up against our study and see, what makes the most sense in terms of where or when to push that ad or promo that you have going on. So that's
absolutely
also very important.
Yeah, because your demographic, it may be a little bit different than what you're seeing here. The times that folks that follow you are on social media might be different. And the recommendation is typically to push things out 2 hours before your audience is going to be online. So that means if it's 11 a.m. that they're booking, you want to start your ad at 9 a.m., for example. Although ads, they run for days at a time. So that may not be significant, but you may not want it to start on a Sunday. You may not want to waste Sunday where there might be low viewership, and you may want to start it Monday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
And you can get very specific and granular like that. It'll grow your numbers, that's for sure. The next thing is booking parties booked by gender. So of course, without a doubt, women, moms book best, right? So we always talk about that because at Party Center, majority moms on the CSM and sales and marketing. I guess Rebecca, you're the only mom right now. But majority moms, and so because we have like a very majority woman team, we know like those images are important, the descriptions are important, that's what women gravitate towards, that's what you want to make sure is in your ads, right? So we've started to kind of incorporate that into our new website design. I don't know, Candy, if you checked it out yet, but we're launching like page by page, and now finally the majority of it is basically done. So we have like this slogan, moms book best, because who books a party better than a mom? So
Because I'll tell you, dads are a bit selfish in the way they book parties. They're like, can I just have some pizza? And I like wings, so we're gonna cook wings at home, and like they will do it with themselves in mind, not only the kid in mind. Moms will do it strictly for the kid.
Sure. And I think what, one of the things Laura's getting at here is, again, we're using data to make these decisions, and we're seeing moms are booking the most amount of parties online and offline. So if moms are the ones that are booking these parties, what can we do to appeal to mom? What does mom like? We ask questions of mom. And this is something that we encourage any facility owner to think about as well. Don't think about it from your perspective. Ask the mothers that come to your facility, what do they want? What do they want to see? What would they purchase? What kind of packages? What would they pay? All that type of stuff is so important. It's really just about know who your audience is. And if you're in a community where it's mostly adult birthday parties, for example, then shift towards that audience and ask the right questions for that audience. This is obviously the data points we're using are the majority of our folks. So again, use your data too alongside this.
And don't forget about the dads. Dads do tend to book offline, probably in person or over the phone more than they do online. So hey, when Father's Day comes around the corner, maybe focus on pushing marketing materials at your facility, right? Like you can still have those mailers, like promoting a Father's Day event or something like that. Or something in person, maybe they could scan a QR code and get 10% off of some sort of party. There's a lot of creative things that you could do just from looking at who's booking and how do they prefer to book, right?
So if you know that the dads are calling over the phone, don't forget to ask about those add-ons.
Oh yeah, that's important. All right, so online versus offline. This one was really exciting to see, especially for us, we're the online booking people, so this is very good news for us. But year over year, online and offline have kind of both been in the middle. Offline always taking a couple more points over online.
That was pretty consistent year after year for as many years as I've gotten that.
Very much so. But obviously, 2020 that started to sort of shift, and in 2021, there's no debate. Online is booking versus is winning over in-house booking. So this is just the new kind of world that we live in. It's really important to have online booking, because otherwise, look at how many sales you might be missing out on, right? You could be doing this in your sleep, basically. You could be making this in your sleep. So it's very important to kind of look at that. And having a great website now has become even more important. It's always been important, but now it's like, again, no debate. You have to have a great website that's mobile friendly. You have to have some sort of online booking system on that website. And you have to also make sure that you link to it, on your social profile, in the bio, make sure that it goes straight to your online booking. That's, people don't want to search around. They don't want to go to your homepage and try to figure it out. So make sure that it just goes straight to whatever you use for online booking. There's a lot of different things you could do like that. Even on Facebook, right? You can put in a book now button on your page that links directly to your online booking. So,
and I suggest having a description of your packages on your website first, because some of the online booking, we're asked that you sign in or log in, and I'm not a huge fan of logging in before I see what may be able to come with that party package. I'm out. I just leave. And so make sure that they're I can see what it is that this package consists of before I have to start going through that whole process.
Absolutely, Candy. And and two, I think what's really cool is you have to have that book now link in a couple of places. You have it on the main page, so you're one click in, because if you have to dig and hunt for it, if you're more than 7 clicks in, people have gone. So, yeah, so if you have that book now right up there where they can see it. And then, like Candy said, when you go to the party page, if you have all the descriptions, then you can have the link for that particular party right underneath that description that says book now, and it takes them directly to it, and they know what they're getting. You know what I'm saying? They can see the value, and it's not 7, 8, 10 clicks, because you've done lost people.
Yeah, you have to have it right up top in the header, like a huge button that they can't miss. You definitely got to do that.
Laura, I think that this data here also is like the tip of an iceberg to a changing demographic that we all should learn how to cater to. Beth and I often get into a conversation a little bit about even like self-checkout. I will self-checkout every day of the week. I prefer it. I don't need all that stuff. Give me a self-checkout. If I would rather not have to call anybody to book anything, to get reservations, to any of that stuff. And my brother, who's 14 years younger than me, forget it. Like if he can't get it through his phone, like he'll find another outlet for it. So I think this is also just that tip of the iceberg of that. The demographic that we will be catering that are having babies that are coming up is different than the demographic we have been used to.
Absolutely. That's really cool. So my brother and I are also 14 years apart. I'm about to turn 25 and he's 11 now. He just turned 11. And he is told, like, I mean, yeah, you have to focus on where they actually are, which is online. And if he sees something cool that he wants to go to, like he has one of those facilities where they have like indoor mountain climbing, like the mountain wall.
Oh, the big ones,
and
yeah.
He found that on his own. Like he found that on his own and booked a time to go with my stepdad. So they're all online. They're not calling these facilities, but there's a lot of kids that are, looking for fun things to do now that you can go out, now that, restrictions have been lifted in a lot of areas. So, hey, you have to go on TikTok, right? Like you have to promote your business in all these different avenues that are growing, that are popular right now. Yeah.
This actually reminds me of the social aspect of how people function too. There's this big thing among the millennial population, and most of moms these days fall into that millennial category, where they hate talking on the phone. You may see these memes that come out that are like, if I have to, the last time my phone rang was never, or don't call me, text me. There's all these different jokes about it. And I think it's interesting. My sister, who's 2 years younger than me, falls into this demographic where she would rather do anything than have to pick up the phone and call someone. If she has to place a phone call and she can't do it from her phone without having to verbally communicate, she's not going to do it. So it's just something to keep in mind with this whole process, is making it easy for someone who doesn't want to have to go back and forth with someone, who doesn't want to have to fill out a form where they're going to get a quote and go back and forth through email. They just want to get it done.
And I would be remiss to say, the thing that you can do is, like, we are Trainer Entertainment, so we're about connection and that personal experience, but there are templates in the way that emails are written. Like read your email. Is that a connecting email, or is that a don't bring this, don't do this, you must be here 15 minutes before email? Like what kind of, just because someone does something online does not mean that you remove all connection of that kind of relationship building. There is still a way to do that. You just have to change what your vision of connection is.
That's such a great point.
Candy, I think it's also not just because people are booking more online. You might not have a huge staff list available to answer the phone. So, I mean, if you don't have the capability to allow them to see what packages you offer and reserve online, you've just missed a party and they went to Chuck E. Cheese. Nothing wrong with Chuck E. Cheese, but I'm just saying they've left your world and have moved on if they can't get somebody on the phone and they can't book online. And nobody wants to fill out a form and have you call them back.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that was my point.
That means you have to call my phone, and if I don't know your number, I'm not answering it.
And then half the voicemails say, don't leave a voicemail, right?
Yeah.
I booked a party that way, or an event, a Christmas get together for a corporate event once in my life, and never again. The only reason that I kept doing it was because we all really wanted to go bowling. This was the only place close to us at the moment, but it just was so much work. It took weeks to get this thing booked.
Do they have Party Center software now?
I hope so.
I'll call them.
Yeah, the main thing here is, meet your customers where they are, right? Like meet them where they are, try to figure out what is that demographic for your business and be there. Because it's not about what we want. We might prefer to call someone on the phone or do this or that. It's about what they want. So the last thing kind of that folds into that is devices used to book, right? Mobile continues to grow. Now it's at 77.9. I think last study it was maybe at 70 straight or 72, something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it continues to grow. So making sure that that website is mobile friendly, that's the number one thing. Make sure that once they get to that homepage, they see the book now button, and it's just an easy process from there. So that's very important too. And of course, if you want some more tips, we're coming in with another resource, building a marketing plan. We did this one beginning of last year. So there's a lot of good tips on, how to make that website mobile friendly. What are some things to consider from social media to branding and all that good stuff. So be sure to check that out. And just real quick before we wrap things up here, we did something a little different this past year. We did a survey that we sent out to FEC owners, operators, staff, party hosts, and it was an end of year survey just asking about how 2021 went for them, if they changed prices, if they changed the party packages, what they're planning for the next 2 years. And this gave us a lot of interesting data too. So we are going to just pull out three main things. So how did your business perform in 2021? Most folks had kind of I don't want to say rocky, but it was a struggle. Q1 was a little bit of a struggle, but then business did pick up for the majority of folks after Q1, after Q2, after Q3, and Q4 was really, really good for most people, which matches up to that data that we saw as well. There were some people that said they crushed 2021. There were some people, unfortunately, that remained closed in 2021. And some folks also did have their numbers were down. But a lot of folks crushed it or said that they beat their 2019 numbers. So that was really good to see. So, and then the next thing here too is staffing experience. So everybody's talking about the labor market and staffing and how hard it is to find, the right employees. So most people did verify that in the survey. They either couldn't afford the additional staff or they couldn't really find good team members. But we want to put a positive spin on this too. This is a great time to think about your culture. You want to create that great culture, right, Eileen, that you created at the facilities that you manage, that makes people just want to stay there and work there. And there's also a lot of great things that we can learn from Cheryl and from Cheryl Golf and from Trainertainment too. Trainertainment has a wealth of knowledge about staffing and hiring and how to hire well. So I don't know, Candy or Eileen, if you all want to chime into that, but folks did have a hard time, but hopefully in 2022, 23, things do kind of turn for the better.
I'm just going to say you're right on culture. Don't let what you're experiencing now let you negotiate what your culture is. But it's not a highlight of being hired anymore. Go look at any of the most recent studies. Culture and core values are expected. They're not something that you can taught and then get people to be like, oh, you have core values. I'm going to come work for you. Now, it is actually on the most recent list I looked at, it's 7. 1 and 2, it is, do I feel like I get a reasonable wage for the work that it's doing? And then is there room for me to challenge myself, learn more, or advance? And it could be any of those. Doesn't mean that it's always like an advancement. There's immediately a promotion, but do I get challenged? Can I learn on this job? And is there a pathway that gets me forward? What it could be, for us, it is a stepping stone. And one of the things that, I have talked with Pete Gustafson and AAMA about is that I don't think many people realize what a career this industry is. When you work in that front counter at your local bowling alley or the skating rink or whatever, like take some time and let them see what all the possibilities are. You guys, Eileen, you started there. Like when I watched it, I remember the first time I went to IAPA and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like this is a career. Standing in line when they shut down Disney and we got to go there and going through that line and thinking there's someone whose job it is to be an engineer of how lines are laid out and how the wait times work and how that is the most efficient. And so like it is to let them know that you can grow in this and what the opportunities are is really valuable.
I really love that. It gets me thinking just about how things are even with education in this country. Like there's a broader conversation to be had here. A lot of folks go to college, but they're not quite sure yet what career to choose. They come out of college and, folks have a hard time just even getting that jump start in their career. And I know if it wasn't for like mentors like Rebecca hiring me as a little intern and coaching me, it would be hard for me to be able to have, the career in whatever industry in marketing as well. And so, one thing we recommend too is like social media, right? Look, you have a lot of team staffers that are working at your facility. You never know, they might stay on for years if you give them the opportunity. Like, hey, you're probably better at the social stuff than I am. Start us a TikTok, start to experiment, get into social analytics. Next thing you know, they're doing marketing. They're the coordinator for your facility, right? So there's a lot of growth opportunities and people are looking for those as well. Like I know, when I was starting off, I was looking for opportunities to learn. And it can be hard because sometimes you can't even get an internship without having that 4-year degree. Like they need to know that you're getting your bachelor's in order to get that opportunity. But what I love seeing at FEC Success anytime I go is there's all these, parents that are bringing their kids, they're like 18 years old and they're grooming them to take over the family business or work as a party host, work behind the scenes. That's really awesome. And we need more of that, I think. And this industry is a perfect industry to foster that kind of thing. Yeah. Cool. Well, the last thing that I kind of wanted to mention was expanding your business in the coming years. So the great news here is there are a lot of folks that filled out this survey that are considering adding additional locations. So that's great. New attractions. And there was also another data point, I didn't include it in here, but it was, are you planning on redesigning or rebranding your facility in the next 2 years? And a majority of people said yes. They want to rebrand. They want to focus on the experience, the theme. They want to kind of focus on their layout, maybe restructuring that as well. So there's going to be a lot of great changes that we see in the next 2-3 years, I think.
Very exciting stuff. Again, like this that you guys have put out. When's the first year that this was put out?
I think 2018 was, right? We didn't do one in 2017, did we? Oh, yep, 2017 we did.
I was going to say, I joined the team in 2016, I think, or 2015, and I believe 2017 might have been our first one. But
Yeah, I'm on the 2017 right now.
But it's so much
invaluable information that comes out every single year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So if you all want to download the whole thing and just keep it on file and refer to it, you can head over to this link. And yeah, and also I did want to shout out our new website because we work very hard on getting this done. And there's a new resource library as well. That's been a great thing for us. You can easily search for resources, filter by tags, so ebooks, webinars, topics as well. So should have incorporated that screenshot in here, but you can go ahead and go to the website and check that out.
You're just letting your marketing come through. Enough of a tease so that people go to your website and just check out that screenshot.
Give me the views.
Well, thank you guys for taking your time and going through that. It's a lot of information, but like I said, I feel like it's invaluable every single year. It is one of the few things that remains on my desktop because I find myself pulling it up to talk to clients about it numerous times throughout the year. So throughout the year, it's one of the few things that has desktop space on my computer. Not many things have that. So
that's awesome.
So there are 4 of you. We end with the signature question. So what are you each currently doing to grow yourself and or others? Rebecca, you're like literally growing another.
Yes. it's funny you should ask. I am growing another human being right now that's about to make his way into the world. So I'm eating. That's what I'm doing to grow that human being. But no, I think my answer probably may be similar to the last time that we had this, and it's always seeking to learn and grow. I actually heard a clip from Steve Harvey recently that really spoke to me, where he talked about how we learn by failing. It's not success that teaches us, it's failure. And that he quoted Warren Buffett, that Warren Buffett won't accept a company unless they've had 2 other companies that have failed first, because to him, it has proven that they have made the mistakes that they needed to make in order to learn how to be successful. So for me, it's always continuing to seek mentorship from other people that know about failure, and knowing that it's okay to fail, and that's how we learn and how we grow. So as far as mentoring other people, I don't know. I'll have to ask anybody in this group if I'm doing a good job or not.
All right. Eileen, I won't let you wait till last this time.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm probably going to give the same answer. I mean, well, it's a couple. Personally, I am learning how to be a new grandmother and stay in my lane without giving too much information, right? And that's sometimes difficult. But professionally, I'm trying to reach out to as many of our customers as possible to reassure them and to get them to repivot if they haven't already increased their prices. Try to get them to see the value of doing that, because this is the time that they can do it so that they can be more profitable and successful. So that is my professional goal.
All right.
All right,
Megan.
Laura's on mute, so I'll hop on. So personally, my son and I have a new Bible study book that he asked to buy. So I'm very excited that we're growing personally in our faith together. And then I also think that when we're talking professionally, I'm learning a ton. We have PC Pay, which is our internal processing system. And it's amazing to me how detailed and scary credit card processing can be if you don't know anything about it. So I'm learning how to explain it to our customers, and how, what the benefits are for any processor, right? What to look for, how to negotiate, how to watch what goes into your bank. It's interesting. Credit card processing is a whole new world.
For me, so we just hired a new marketing, social media, and sales assistant. So it's really nice to be in the position now where, I'm training someone else, and also trying to go back to 4 or 5 years ago when I started even being interested in marketing and learning about HubSpot and stuff like that, and kind of getting back to basics, like, okay, how did I start to do this? One of our core principles at PCS is keep it humble, keep it positive. And I just always, sometimes I'm like, Rebecca doesn't really give me much like negative criticism. I'm like, she's like, oh, you're too humble and whatnot. I'm like, I actually kind of want her sometimes to be like, hey, you did this wrong. Because I feel like spoiled and very blessed to have the team that I have at PCS. So I just always try to, keep it humble and check myself, and always try to take ownership over things that I do. It's in marketing, right? There might be a typo. I might mess something up for a trade show or whatever. So keep it humble, try to get better every single time. And also now applying that with, training this new hire, how to, keep humble, even in terms of like, all right, I have to learn how to clarify this process, or this is too convoluted. Like, I'm doing this, but honestly, this is not great if I'm trying to onboard somebody. So just constantly trying to document and correct things and improve things. So that's kind of, what I try to focus on here.
There's nothing that will tell you what you have in your head that you haven't actually put on any documentation.
Yeah.
Like training someone else. You're like, oh, I'm sure that's written down somewhere. It's not. It's
Yeah, I'm just grateful that Araceli is our new hire, is very patient with me, and very grateful to have her on the team.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys at Party Center Software for your time. I'm sure there'll be some questions or people want to connect. Where are you sending them after this? Where do you want them to go? The website?
Website. Check out our website and let us know. And call Megan. Call Megan.
Text me. Don't call me, right? I don't want to talk on the phone. Just kidding. I'll talk your ear off.
All of our email addresses are our first name at partycentersoftware.com. So you can reach us all that way.
Absolutely.
Or if you go to our website to about, it will link you right to us.
See my face there.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks again for being a 2022 Think Tank partner. In addition to Redemption Plus, Simnox, and Bed and Betson. If any of you out there want to be on Think Tank, have an idea for Think Tank, shoot me an email, candy@turnertainment.net. I'll make that episode happen. And then we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Candy.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brittany Betty, and I am the Regional Sales Director and Business Development Manager over at Betson Enterprises. Here at Betson, we are so excited to be a part of Trainertainment this year. For those of you who are unaware of Betson and what we do, we are the leading distributor of coin-operated equipment, and we are a family-owned business that has been around for 85 plus years. Please take a moment to watch a quick video on an introduction on the phased approach and turnkey solution we can offer you in your facility. Thank you so much for taking the time for watching. And if you have any questions and would like to reach out to me, I can be reached at my email at bbetty, BBETTI, at Betson, BETSON.com. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or needs you might have in the family entertainment industry, and I would be happy to assist you. Thank you and have a great day.
Are you looking for ways to maximize profits and consolidate systems and processes? Join the Party Center Software and Party Center Pay family. Our suite of solutions makes it easy for you to run your family entertainment center or event business. Our online party booking system makes booking parties and events a breeze. Our point of sale system, digital waivers, and reports will help you simplify steps for your staff and make your guest experience seamless. Our online store allows you to sell products, gift certificates, and other services anytime, even when you're sleeping. But it doesn't end there. All of the solutions mentioned connect with our payment processing platform, Party Center Pay, making it easier than ever to manage your business. Not only can Party Center Pay save you money by cutting out extraneous fees, but Party Center Pay makes it easy to take online deposits or full payments, and we even have a contactless payment option. Paired with our incredible support team and dedicated customer success managers, growing and managing your business has never been easier. Schedule a call with us today to learn more.
My wife and I, this is a partnership with her and I, so we both agreed that, in creating Scary Strokes, that we want to make sure that we have the best available of everything. Embed just seemed like the perfect fit. Like, it was pretty streamlined and had the point of sales and the software for the redemption, and it just seemed, natural to us. So we've been with Embed since the very beginning. And so when Embed, it was introducing the mobile wallet, it seemed like a good opportunity for us to jump on, and it's wonderful. I mean, you reload your card from it, you redeem your tickets from it. There's nothing not to like about it. I mean, it's very convenient. It's very clever for sure.
Empowering your employees to manage your redemption area with confidence can be a challenge. The redemption counter is often the last stop your customers make before leaving your facility. That's why we do everything we can to help your staff make that experience one worth returning for. Our service packages allow you to reap the benefits of expertise and customer support, no matter where your business is in its maturity. The Advanced and Pro service bundles are unmatched by any other redemption provider in the industry. They allow you to get the support you need when you need it. Gain confidence in your redemption program, knowing your employees are taking advantage of benefits like exclusive redemption training, regular planogram refreshes, product performance and spending reports, and much more. All accessible from an online portal customized to your business. Learn more at services.redemptionplus.com.